Welcome to Extras, part of the Drag Me to the Movies podcast. I'm Joe.
I'm Ned.
I'm Jeff. In this episode, we're going to discuss our top 5 satirical or satire movies.
Ooh.
We're coming off of High Fidelity, so we figured why not do a top 5, Ned? Why not?
Sounds
So,
good to me.
that being said, why don't we start with your number 5? Are you prepared for it that way? I should ask first.
I can be. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, let's start with your number 5 and your top 5 satirical movies.
All right. So I'm going to go with one that, I guess with satires, I tend to lean more towards the comedy side of things, but obviously satire can take many forms. And in this particular case, I decided to go with one that's kind of a satire of like the future and kind of mocking how things could play out. And that is a movie known as Demolition Man. Have you seen it, Joe?
I have.
Do you know about the seashells?
I do. I do. And I
Do you
would
know
not
how to
use
use them?
front to back and very
No,
carefully.
I just appreciate how this movie came together, its creativity, Taco Bell dominating the franchise wars and becoming like a top prestigious restaurant. I've also like appreciate that they kind of play upon the utopian style society where people aren't allowed to swear and stuff like that, which I don't necessarily agree with that aspect. But Joe, do you think we can ever get to a society where things are all hunky-dory and no war,
No.
chaos, murder,
Nope.
death? Yeah, I just
Nope.
don't think it's in human nature to allow for that.
Yeah. Now, maybe when our AI overlords take over, but
Yeah, maybe.
on our own, no. On
Okay.
our own, we're not capable.
Yeah, I tend to agree. All right, so what do you got? What's your number 5?
My number 5 is The Life of Brian, which is a Monty Python film.
Yes, it is.
So I mean, there's a lot to love here. You know, Monty Python overall, the British humor is just, top notch. The idea of, Jesus Christ's like, I don't know how you'd even compare them, but born next to Jesus, Brian is there, and it follows Brian of Nazareth and all the things that he goes through, and at the same time that Jesus is doing his, and it's just, man, it's just a good look at what Roman times would have looked like, and how the Bible could have interpreted things a lot differently. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just a really fun ride, as far as, like, again, seeing a lot of the things you read about in the Bible that we take very seriously. Not everybody, but it's always taken seriously, and put some humor there. One of the standout scenes I think that most people would be able to talk about is the song of "Look at the light, the light side of life,"
The
or the bright side of life,
side of life.
and they're all on crucifixes,
Right,
and
yeah.
whistling.
Yep.
Like, yeah, it's just it's good fun. It's a good film.
Yep.
So
My old boss
all right.
used to use that against me a lot when I'm down in
Look at the bright side of life.
Yep, he'd send that gift to me to try to cheer me up.
I could see a vein popping out of your forehead every time you see it now.
Yeah, no, it was usually that was happening prior.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. All right.
All right, Ned. So what about your top 4?
My number 4 is a movie that kind of pokes fun at the different horror genre movies and the things there. And it's The Cabin in the Woods. I was really surprised the first time I saw that movie, and I appreciated like the homages and things it was paying tribute to, and also kind of poking fun at in a way. So have you seen Cabin in the Woods?
I have.
Nice. Any initial reactions yourself?
Did we watch it for this podcast, or did we watch it for something else?
I want to say it might have been something with the Gearbox Union. I'd have to
it
look.
Might have been. Yeah, it's not on our spreadsheet. So, but I do know that it's a recent watch for me in like the last 3 to 4 years. So, but I did very much enjoy it.
Good. All right, what's your number 4?
So, my number 4 is Walk Hard: The Dewey Cox Story.
Oh, this has come up before.
It has. So I've talked about it before, in that I enjoy a lot of like music films or music about bands, or films about bands. not necessarily musicals. It's quite the opposite from musicals, but I feel like this film does a really good job at kind of making fun of the whole documentary type, you know, film.
Hmm.
And that it's following the life of Dewey Cox, and it's the rise and fall, and then maybe the rise again at the end. So that's fun. I like how it's also kind of takes a lot of like the things that you would typically, have in a film, like about like rock stars, where they're doing drugs and how it's affecting them. And in this film there's jokes around that of like, what are you guys doing? We're smoking pot. You don't want no, or he goes, I don't want any of this. And he's like, no, actually you might, and it's, "Oh, I don't want a hangover. It doesn't cause hangovers. I don't want to be addicted." You can't get addicted to it, like this. It's just really funny, like, takes on that. And again, uh
Great delivery by Tim
overall,
Meadows, by the way.
yeah, right. And then again, it's making fun of Johnny Cash.
Yeah,
A lot of what's in this is kind of based a little bit on Johnny Cash's life, and
I mean, a lot
making
of it
fun of it.
is. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. So yeah, again, it's a really good film, really fun.
yeah. I'm due
And
for a rewatch.
this
I
is one of
have.
those ones where John C. Riley takes the forefront,
Oh,
which,
yep,
is fantastic.
yep. Agreed. All right. So my number three is a movie. I kind of went back and forth between one or two, but I ended up going with the Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Rick and Bobby.
Good
Um,
one.
I absolutely loved this movie. The roommate I had at this time when I saw it, he was a huge NASCAR fan, and when we saw this in theaters, we ended up going back probably at least 2 or 3 more times to see this movie, because we couldn't stop laughing our asses off.
Mm,
There's so much good content in here. Great supporting cast. We have John C. Riley in here again. Him working off of Will Ferrell, and those two together, I absolutely love their interactions. Pretty much every joke in the movie lands for me. I can't think of any that don't, and it's always just a great time to go back and go fast with this movie. What about
right.
you?
If you're not, it's your last, Ned.
Yep.
I love that film. Really, I love all of the Judd Apatow, uh, Will Ferrell, John C. Riley movies that came out
Even
around
Sherlock
that time.
Holmes. Did they do Holmes together? I can't remember.
They did. I think they did, didn't they?
Yeah, I can't remember if it was Apatow as the director.
I'm looking. Um, but yeah, so they have some kind of on screen.
Nope, it was Ethan Cohen.
Yeah, I just got there. They have this like on screen, I don't know, like vibe that's just it's hard to beat. Like
Yep,
they just play off of each other so well
agreed.
comedically. Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
No, it's great. And it's a very quotable film too, which
Oh,
I
for
love.
sure.
I love quotable films.
Yep, definitely. All right, what's your number three?
Speaking of quotable films, Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Mm.
I'm a sucker for Robin Hood Men in Tights, or for a sucker for the story of Robin Hood, let alone,
Yes,
right?
yes,
My
yes.
my favorite cartoon
You love Men
from
in
the Disney
Tights.
era is Robin Hood. That's my favorite Disney film. And I also love Men in Tights. No, I'm just kidding. But Robin Hood Men in Tights is a fun play off of the story. It's got Mel Brooks as director.
Yep,
What's not to love about that, right? It just takes the overall serious nature and morals that you get from listening to Robin Hood or reading Robin Hood, and it just puts such like a playful, side of it, right?
yep,
One of the funniest things is Little John and Robin Hood when they're fighting, for access over the creek, right? And
yep.
uh, I'm on one side, I'm on the other side, I'm on this side, I'm on the other
I'm on the
side,
West
and
Bank,
it's
I'm on the East
yeah,
Bank.
right. Yep. And like they're fighting over that log, and they're not even like, they're breaking their bow staffs, and then they get to a point where they're just like playing slaps on their
Mm.
knuckles with it.
Yep.
Like it's ridiculous. And
And then
again,
Little
there's
John
so
can't swim.
right. Help, I'm drowning. Uh like it's just there's so many fun things in there. And there's even like, again, with Mel Brooks, there are like cultural references on top of cultural references, and some of them are like so stupid and obscure, but they're some of my favorite. Um, one of the things I laugh about every time I watch this film, and I laugh as if I heard it the first time, is when uh the uh the priest is walking down the aisle to marry
I think I know you're going. Yep.
and yeah, good morrow, Abbott. Good morrow, Abbott. And then that guy's just like, hey, Abbott, like that kills me every time. Like
I hate that
I hate
guy.
that guy. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It just kills me.
No, that's good.
Um, so yeah,
I,
overall, I can't get enough of this film. I watch
I
this at least once a year.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely one that I watch at least. I would say every other. One of my favorite parts is when the blind guy has a sword and he's fighting essentially the pillar and he cuts it down to like
Yeah,
essentially a toothpick and he's like,
yeah. And then he goes back to
uh-huh.
it. Or when is Blinken's on the toilet and they move the castle
I
and
feel drafty.
he's yeah, I feel the breeze, yeah. And then Robin Hood comes up and he's like, "Oh, Robin, you've returned from the Crusades," and
The
he's touching a
statue.
statue. But you've lost your arms in battle, but you grew a nice set of boobs.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
it's so ridiculous.
Indeed.
Yeah. If you've not seen it, what are you doing with your life? Go watch that film.
Yeah, you gotta see it. Nice.
All right,
All
Ed.
right.
What's your next one?
Number two for me is maybe a little more serious. Still got some comedy mixed in there, but I definitely feel it's a reflection of how society was and probably still is a bit, but The Truman Show.
Mm,
I feel like that movie depicts a period in time, and I still think it happens today where, you know, the reality shows and trying to like everything that people get sucked into. I don't know if it's as common with, you know, streaming capabilities that people are obsessing about these shows and things, but I think Truman Show did an excellent job of kind of showing the impacts of how TV and, you know, reality TV specifically kind of plays into different people's lives and ultimately ends up kind of controlling them in a way, and how we as society kind of would accept people doing that to people. So yeah, in general, I really love what they did with the Truman Show, and if you haven't seen it, you definitely should.
yeah, it's a good one. I haven't seen it in forever, but I did like it a lot.
Yeah, it's one I definitely revisit. You know, every 5 years or so. All right, what's your number two?
All right, so my number two and my number one, I kept going back and forth on which is which, and even now
Mm-hmm.
I'm second guessing myself. But I'm gonna settle down and I'm gonna settle in and
Lock it
say
in.
Jojo Rabbit. Jojo Rabbit's my number two.
Number two. Okay,
Yeah, it wants to be my number one, but I'm not sure because I have my number one I hold very close to my heart.
that's fair.
So Jojo Rabbit, if you've not seen it, it's a play on the atrocities that happened in World War II in Germany. And well, I think it's actually in Poland, if I remember correctly. This takes place. But you know, it covers things as far as you know the Hitler Youth. It talks about like how the propaganda machine really pushed like you know pictures of Hitler and you know articles, but it's more of like almost like handled in a way of like teens having like posters on their walls kind of thing in a way with this film. There's a lot of like weird like childhood friendship like things that happen in this between you know the Hitler Youth kids. But at the center of it, they still take the atrocities of what's going on very seriously. You know, one of the things that you know happens in this film is that there's a Jewish girl hiding in Jojo's house, and his mom is keeping her hidden, and you know his mom ends up you know paying the price for it. And a lot of the way this film is handled as well is Jojo's you know devil on his shoulder in this case is his imagination of Hitler, right? So a lot of his moral decisions that he's trying to make, you know, there's a make believe Hitler there doing ridiculous things, and it's you know Hitler's played by Taika Waititi, so it's very funny and very over the top in how it's handled. But overall, I really like this film, a because it takes a very serious subject, but it makes it kind of playful in ways, but also doesn't make it super playful when, the actual atrocities stuff happens. You really feel some stuff in this film as well.
Hmm.
But it's such a weird take on it that it's a fun ride, which is weird to say about World War II, but
Right.
um, yeah, it's just very interesting. What are your thoughts on Jojo Rabbit? Did you like it?
I enjoyed it. It's definitely been a minute since I've seen it. It's not one I tend to go back or think to go back or want to go back. I don't know. Taika Waititi and his films, I enjoy some of them. Others, I don't know if I enjoy them, and I feel like
Is it?
he has a little bit of an ego that kind of rubs me the
He
wrong way.
does. He does, and his atrocities on Marvel are hard to hard
Yeah,
to oversee
yeah.
or overlook. But
But yeah, in general, I do remember enjoying it. So yeah,
all
yeah.
right. Well, enter the drum roll, Ned. What's your number one?
So my number one is probably not just a satire, uh, but it's a satire of my life in a way. It is a movie known as Office Space.
Mm, that's a good one.
I have seen that movie so many times; it's not even funny. And yeah, I work in the IT world, and I can definitely relate to it a lot. I do really wish there was something where I could just like go to work and think I was fishing all day. There's definitely a lot of the things in here that they poke fun at, from a business and having multiple managers or people that you're reporting to, and having consultants come in and do all types of different things, and whether or not you feel secure in your job and everything that's put on your plate, and you're trying to tell someone something but they're not really listening to you. Yeah, all of that stuff is bundled into this movie and is definitely something I can relate to. So yeah, Office Space is a great film and very funny, and yeah, I definitely relate to this one probably too much.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mm. Yeah, I like it. It's definitely a nice play on the white collar man. and
Yes.
and and what it's like. Uh yeah, I mean, if you've been in a corporate setting, like you've had to encounter a lot of the personalities that are portrayed in this film, and felt a lot of the emotions of like wanting to take a copy machine out back and beat it
Oh
with a
yeah.
baseball bat.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a good film. It's
Yes.
it's a good film, very much so.
All right. So, drum roll for you. What is your number one?
So my number one right now, maybe is because of the life we're living in right now, but also just because it is really well written. It's a fun ride. It's witty, and it very much points out, uh, huh, some socio-political things that happen in America and what it could lead to. It's a little
Mm,
film by Mike Judge called Idiocracy.
mm,
Uh, it
yes.
it is a fun ride. Um, you know, back when this came out
Too true.
in 2006, it was fun, and it was fun in a way of like,
Too true.
oh, could you imagine? No, I
No.
mean in
No.
2006,
Even then, it was still.
I didn't take it that bad in 2006.
uh,
It was like, oh man, this is crazy. I could see it happening, but whatever. But
uh,
now in like
it
the ages
continues
we're
to get
living
more
now,
real. Let's just say that.
we're getting closer to idiocracy levels, and it's scary, but it's so fun. It's
No.
it's ridiculous.
I remember
Uh,
the first time I saw it, and I was just like, "This is happening." Like
yeah,
just the whole opening where it's talking about, the educated people holding off and not having kids right away, and in comparison, you have the people that are just procreating like rabbits. Like
right,
that right there spoke so much to me. I'm like, "Oh no."
right, yep. Um, there's there's a lot of things in here about the herd mentality, you
Hmm.
know, and it's scary in how it's playing out. But I don't want to go the political route. I know it's hard not to when you're talking about idiocracy, but
No.
there's a lot of just like funny things about how like in America, like how a lot of stuff is around sex, right? Sex
Yep.
sells,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
how in the future of America with this film, like, so if you're not familiar, basically, somebody who's kind of like a failure in current times gets frozen and then awakens in a dystopian future, and where he was maybe a loser then, he's now kind of the smartest person on Earth.
Yeah.
And it's just funny, like how like Starbucks and Taco Bell and stuff are like sex shops now. They don't sell food; they're sex shops, and like
The most
Costco.
popular show on TVs is How My Balls.
Oh, my balls, right? Yep. There's the whole thing about like Brondo, right? Brondo is what
Mm-hmm.
plants crave. The crops are dying out, and what do we have to do? We have to use water. You mean like out of the toilet? Like it's just like a lot of like stupid, things like that. Oh man, like so Luke Wilson does a fantastic job, and this Dax Shepard is
Mm-hmm.
fantastic.
Yep.
Terry Crews is President Camacho. Uh, I forget his whole name, but it was like Mountain Dew, Dorito. Come on,
He was
but basically
sponsored for his name.
he's sponsored by everything. You're right, yeah. It's ridiculous. It's over the top. Like the way they enforce laws is through combat. And it's almost like gladiators, like American gladiators type combat. Um, it's so ridiculous. It's still really fun to watch. It's a little depressing now to watch, but it's still really funny. Yeah, if you've not seen Idiocracy, you're doing yourself a I don't know. You need to watch it. You need to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's kind of interesting that Mike Judge took both number ones for us. The
Oh, I didn't
Man
even
is in
think of that.
Touch.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sure is.
Interesting. Very cool.
Yeah, so we'd love to hear your top fives. And if you'd like to share it with us, you can do so in a couple different ways. You can do it on Facebook or Threads at To the Movies Pod. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, you got
And
it.
then on YouTube, you can do it at The Movies Pod.
Correct.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know what your top fives are. Maybe some of them will make our list, and we'll do a future episode on them.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. So I like this top five format, Ned. We should do some more of these. We'll have to think. And actually, listeners and viewers, if you have any suggestions on top fives you'd like us to do, let us know.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap that up. So thanks for sharing these films with me, Ned, and have
Likewise.
a good one.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.